Howdy folks, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of the Maddfuzzy Podcast. This is a podcast all about knitting and spinning and hand-dyeing yarn. I am your sock-obsessed host, Marta, and as always, I am coming to you from Knox, Maine, where I live with my handsome man and our two wonderful dogs. It has been a bit, so if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me. Oh my goodness. It has been a whirlwind, and I'll kind of brush on that a little bit at the end if we have time, but I have so much to get through. I have not done a whole lot as far as dyeing yarn and things like that, so there won't be a shop update. If you are interested in Maddfuzzy, check out the Instagram at Maddfuzzy. We also have a Ravelry group for this podcast, which is the Maddfuzzy Ravelry group. And let's think here. If you ever want to email me, feel free. It's maddfuzzy@gmail.com. And if you want to check out more on the Etsy shop, unfortunately it's empty at the moment, but feel free to favorite it. And as soon as I get an update out, I will, they'll send you a little notification. So I'll release an episode before I have another update, I'm sure. We're so close on the house that I think in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to spend a lot more time on Maddfuzzy. So my goals for this winter is to have a podcast every week and to do a bi-weekly update. So let's see if I can manage to do that. Yeah, there was a cowl that came and went. So if you participated in the Heal My Broken Heart cowl, thank you so much. And posting your finished objects in the finished objects thread. So I did pull a winner. I never locked the thread. I couldn't figure out how. I'm going to be honest with you. I will keep trying. I think I got to do it from my computer. And I did, however, pick a winner. Yay. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. The prize for the Heal My Broken Heart cowl, which I never did show you. Sorry. There is a prize. It is this collection of reinforcement heel and toe yarn. Yeah. And this skein of Maddfuzzy yarn, which is the Sindel colorway and something new I came up with on my last dye session. It's a lovely purple. And the winner is Melissafauna. Congratulations, you're the winner. I am going to direct message you as well and let you know you are our winner. Melissa did a beautiful pair of socks out of my yarn. I couldn't believe that. Way to go. Thank you, random number generator. And yeah, she's been a long time viewer. So I'm so happy to send this to you. You did socks out of Maddfuzzy with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. So thanks for trying a new heel, and thanks for participating. These are going your way, and I'll direct message you in case, because it's been so long. I don't know if you're even still watching, so I'll just direct message you and let you know. But congratulations, you are our winner. All right, moving on. So let's see here. I've got a couple finished objects. I'm just going to keep going through this stuff because there were some fibery things that happened, and I kind of have a little haul video for you at the end, which is surprising because I've been putting a lot of money into my house. So the fact that I have a little stash enhancement is very exciting. So my first finished object is this pair of socks. This is that online commercial sock yarn I purchased. I love this. This is the Speeder sock. I did another one. I wanted to try it again with a little bit deeper of a heel, and these seem to be fitting really nicely. What I like about the Speeder sock is that in this self-striping yarn, there is no interruption in the stripes. Isn't that cool? In case you're new, the Speeder sock pattern, and I'll have the link down in the description bar. I put all my show notes down there, guys, so don't worry. There's usually links. It has a really cool heel construction because it really is just a series of increases and then decreases to make, well, it's top down, so increases and decreases to make this little heel pocket, and that's basically how the sock works. And you do these pearl stitches to give yourself a little bit more stretch and flex in it. And I did a nice big long sock. I do have some leftovers for maybe a mini sock, as well as some advent calendars. I did have a couple people message me about an advent calendar swap, so I'm getting all my minis together for that. So I'm doing 2 advent calendar swaps. So in December, there will be lots of fun. I'm also planning on doing Vlogmas this year. I know it's still, 2 months away, but I'm planning on it. And so that'll be a huge part of Vlogmas, is those advent calendars. My next finished object is the pair of socks for Heath. I finished them finally. They are massive. This is a ladies sock blocker, so it does not fit on here, but I am in love with these socks. This is Jawoll, which is another commercial sock yarn. I really like this stuff. It may be my favorite sock yarn. But I've got one perfect sock, and then while I was doing the toe decreases, I ran out of yarn because these are huge. These giant cuff. I should have made a shorter cuff. And a huge foot. He wears 11.5 shoes. But I had to put a little bit of the online at the bottom. So he's got a slightly different colored toe on one of them, but I don't think he'll mind. No one will ever notice. Thank goodness for top-down socks. So he's got a finished pair. I'm going to stash these away. We've got an anniversary coming up. It'll be 8 years this month. I've got his birthday coming up in November, and then, of course, Christmas. So I have lots of options as far as getting him these socks. And those are my 2 really finished objects. I do have quite a few works in progress. So let's see here. My first work, which does not have a project bag it's living in, will be the one that goes first because it's on top. As you know, I signed up for Ellie of Skeindeer Knits, her Selbu sock, or Selbu mitten club. So excited about it. The first 2 are gorgeous. I did not cast any of them on because I am still working on a Ellie of Skeindeer Knits mitten pattern, and I think I'll do one at a time. But I do have yarn for the next one, which was the September, I believe, installment. So I'm going to start and do them in order. But I did do the Speedy Selbu mitt. Oh my goodness. This is done out of Encore, which is an acrylic wool blend. It was extremely inexpensive at my local yarn shop. And it is a bulky. So they're written for air and weight. So this is a bulky. So with my really tight knitting gauge and color work and a slightly larger needle size, I have a pretty good fitting mitten. And I have one of them done with the thumb, and then I have the other one done, and I just need to put the thumb on it. So these were stupid quick, just stupid quick. I think I did the cuff up to the thumb in one little sitting, watching a couple episodes of some TV show, I'm sure. And then I did the rest of it in another sitting, and then I was on to the next one, and they just flew. There are not many stitches, so you're just going around and around and around very quickly, and you get such a gorgeous pattern. I am so excited to be giving these to people for Christmas. I got a bunch of this yarn in different color combinations, which I'll show you in my haul section. And I'm just going to make everyone these awesome mittens. For my guy friends, I'm going to go up a needle size, and it'll be nice and big for them. And for my lady friends, I might use a worsted or an Aran weight, a true Aran weight, and same needle size, and it'll be a little smaller. So, yay! Everyone's getting mittens this year, spoiler! Yay! So I got those almost done. And I'll cast on another pair as soon as I'm finished with these, and so on and so forth. Christmas is still a little ways away, thank goodness. My next work in progress, living in my 3 bags full project bag Heath gave me for my birthday this year. He also gave me recently this little Brock Sampson enamel pin. We're really big Venture Brothers fans. If anyone else is a Venture Brothers fan, you know it's very easy to be a real fan. So I have my little Brock Sampson enamel pin he gave me. I'm living in this bag, which is one of my favorite project bags. I'll link in the description to her shop. She does amazing work. It's a high quality bag. I love it. But this is some Jawoll as well that I purchased a little while ago. I think I showed you on the podcast when I did purchase it. But I cast this on to be my on-the-go vanilla sock. And so look at how this pattern is coming up. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything when it's in the ball, but as it's going up, it's just so cool. And I did a lot of this at market this week. I went to the Saturday Farmers Market, which is an indoor market in Belfast. It's a really cool market if you're in the area. And it was not stupid busy, and so I got a lot of knitting done. And it's like 5 hours long. It's the longest market we do. And then I purchased a little while ago down in Portland. I went to go get my mom from the airport. Remember she was coming? Yeah. So I went to a couple yarn shops while I was killing time for her and to do a little Maddfuzzy promotion. And I purchased a pair of Knit Pro Zings. So these are pink and they're zeros. I had never seen the Zings in zeros. And so when I saw them, I had to purchase them. They're nice. At first when I cast on with them, I was like, these are really light. I don't really like the join. It's a little, I can feel it snagging as I push my stitches across it. There's a little catchy part. But as I've knitted with them, I've gotten more used to it and I don't mind it. They were really inexpensive and I really do love their double points. But this join, it's kind of the same problem I've had with the carbons. But I'm still going to knit with them because they're pink. And I don't dislike them all that much. So I'll put that back in the bag here. And let's see, my next work in progress is living in my Christmas Gashly Clums bag. This is by Twisted Daisy Fibers. I realize I don't show my bags that often. I love this bag. This is one of my favorite bags. I got this for Christmas a couple times ago. And it's this lovely mauve color, and it's got these great characters on it. And I always laugh and think that these two back here are me and Heathcliff. I mean, they kind of look like me and Heathcliff. I'd imagine Heath would wear a suit like that and drink martinis with a little pinky out. He's kind of like that kind of guy. So living in this bag is an ongoing project, something you've seen. So I did show you the first one. This is the Selbu mitten by Ellie. This was what started it all. It's out of DK weight yarn. I had the first one finished and I showed you that. I don't have the thumb in it still. But I've been spending some evenings alone, hanging out, watching Antiques Roadshow. Still on that kick. I can't get enough of it. I've come across episodes I've seen before though. And I watch them again because it's Antiques Roadshow. But I've gotten pretty far on the other one. We're almost to the decreases in the top, and then I'll throw thumbs on both of them and we'll be good. But I've been trying out something new and kind of a new tool. And I got two different kinds, and I wonder if the other kind is in this bag. Yes. All right. So I saw someone on Instagram using one of these. And it's a Norwegian knitting thimble, it's called. At least that's how I found it on Amazon. And it's this little metal device with these two hooks. And you slip it on your finger and you separate your yarn that way. And I really like how this one feels on my finger. But getting the yarn into these things, and when I'm doing like Selbu mittens, I'm turning the work so often and moving I use highlighter tape, spoiler, to mark my rows. I love the stuff. And moving it up with the yarn stuck to your finger, it's kind of difficult. And this one was very easy to get tangled and whatnot. And the things on the top are these weird things on your ball winder where you slip the yarn in. And it can get confusing when you have an outside and inside yarn. So I decided to try the other version I had seen, which I don't like the feel as much on my finger. It's this little plastic thing. Come here, you're knitting. It's this plastic thing, and it opens up. You stick your yarn in there, and it'll hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors. It'll hold 5 different yarns and keeps them separated. And this one's pretty easy to keep from twisting. It's really easy to take the yarns in and out. It kind of pinches my finger, but I like it from these Selbu mittens a lot more. And what has happened with this, my tension has loosened considerably. And it's become more consistent, and my yarn is always on the outside or on the inside, which when I was knitting off of my fingers, sometimes I'd get confused and I would forget which I had on the inside and the outside. But with this, I leave it on. Clearly, I've left it on, marking what my inside and my outside yarn is. And so it's made a much more consistent fabric, much better fabric. I'm extremely happy with what the Norwegian knitting thimble has done for my color work. I highly recommend it. They're really inexpensive, but it made everything a little bit looser. It made everything a lot even. I don't have as many weird stitches that I didn't pull the one yarn tight enough. It just made everything so much more consistent. So I highly recommend them. I thought I'd tell you about that. Something I'm trying out on these mittens. And since there are going to be 6 in Ellie's club, and I have those 2 books of mittens I wanted to try, I figured I should try to make it a little bit more consistent, a little bit more easy for me to use. So yeah, it was a fun new tool I got. All right, and next work in progress. Yeah, I got a lot. I've been casting things on like a crazy person, but you've seen this one, but you haven't seen the bag. And I'm going to briefly segue into the Common Ground Fair. I went this year. The Common Ground Fair, in case you're not aware or in the area, is a big agricultural fair put on by MOFGA, which is Maine Organic Farmers and Growers Association. No, yeah, something like that. Those words in some kind of an order, making the initials MOFGA. I had trouble with this last year too. And they put on this big rural country fair, and they only let people in who are organic, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I got there early on Friday morning because I was helping Betsy set up. She does a booth every year. And so I was hanging around and wandering around, and I saw Madder Root. Madder Root bags was there. And I had missed them at the Fiber Frolic. They were not there. I had wanted to buy a bag. I had money set aside, and there they were. So I purchased a new project bag. This is Madder Root bags. I'll put a link in the down bar because they are phenomenal. And how you close them is it's like a dry bag. You roll it over, and then it hooks together. And it's just high quality. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy I purchased this. This is a great product. She makes wonderful bags. And living in it is my obligation socks. Yay! Obligation knitting! So they have actually kind of moved along. I am past the heel. I am past the decreases. And I'm just knitting away on the foot. This was my vanilla knitting until I cast on that other stuff. And so I've gotten pretty far. Can't expect much. I knit what I want. Well, yeah. This is, in case you're new, Knit Picks. I believe, oh, what is their foot yarn? It's just their nylon and merino blend. I had it left over. It's super wash. He'll love it. Non-knitters don't really know what kind of yarn anything is, so you can pull that over his eyes. I'll pull the wool over his eyes. Isn't that the saying? Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right, so there is another work in progress. I have 2 more. Yeah. So I got a whole bunch of yarn for free at farmer's market once. Somebody came by with a big bag of just old sport weight Brunswick yarn that looked like it was from, I'd say, the early 80s. It had on the label that, like, hand washable. I'm like, oh boy, you can hand wash it. Joy. And then it said it was moth proofed. I don't even know what that means. So old advertising. So I had all this yarn, and it's free yarn. And so I picked a free pattern on Ravelry to try out my hand at knitting sweaters. I'd never have knit a sweater. There you go. Honest truth. Never have knit a sweater. I love my socks and I love my mittens. But I swatched. So this is the yarn. It's this creamy color. It's kind of blowing out in this beautiful light. I have gorgeous sunny fall light right now. And it's got these little flecks of blue in it. That's not your imagination. But it was super loose. Turns out, very tight knitter in color work, a very loose knitter in everything else. So I was stitches and stitches off of my stitch count. I went to the yarn shop and bought a bunch of new needles that were much smaller because my interchangeable set did not go down that far. I'm beginning to think maybe this sport weight yarn's more of a fingering. old labels. But this is my new swatch. And I haven't measured it yet, but I will. And I'll show you why I will. Hold on. I have this whole tote of my acquisitions that I'm going to move up onto this table here so I can present it better, but that'll be in a minute. I got an Acreworks gauge reader. Swatch gauge is what they call it. But I am a big fan of Acreworks bobbins, so I thought this would be an excellent tool. What it is it counts vertical and horizontal, and then it's got little teeth on it, so it just hooks into your knitting. So I'm going to count my stitches, and I may be, ooh, that was bright. I may be, ready to go here soon, and you might see the cast on of a sweater on the next podcast. Can you believe that? Who am I? A sweater! Yeah, sweet. All right, last work in progress. This is living in my Erin Lane bag. I do have an Erin Lane bag. It's a big one. My mother gave it to me for Christmas. A very long time ago when I first learned about project bags. But living in this one is just the beginning of something fun. Let's see here. Pull it out. This is Maddfuzzy. This is my Red Witch colorway. And I did dye some more of that here. So once I get that reskein, that may be going in my shop. We'll see. We'll see. I went down to Heavenly Yarns the other day, and they are almost out. So thanks, guys who purchased yarn there. So I need to restock her as well. So this is Red Witch, and this is the beginning of my Red Witch socks. I'm going to use the charade sock pattern. I had done that a while ago. I loved that pattern. I made a pair of socks out of On the Round, and I blew through the toe the other day, and I thought, I'm going to knit another pair of these because I liked them so much, and I think it's going to look really cool with this yarn. So these are going to be a pair of charade socks, and yeah, you'll see more progress on them in a little bit. And that comes to the end of all of my works in progress. I have been busy. Believe it or not, there's been days where I have not knit a single stitch because we have been so busy on the house, or Common Ground Fair weekend, or people over, or oh my goodness. Fall in Maine, I think, is almost busier than the summer. Everyone's trying to wrap everything up. It's been a whirlwind, I'm not going to lie. And the only reason I'm actually getting a chance to record a podcast today instead of putting another row of shingles on my house, because we're shaking the whole, is that what you call it? We're putting cedar shingles all on the outside of the house. It's going to look very New England. And we're all doing it ourselves, so it's a couple rolls of shingles every a couple of weeks. We'll put another row or two on, so on and so forth. Eventually it'll be done. Now that we're almost done insulating, it'll go a lot faster. So yeah, we're going to do that. But then Heath wanted to record a podcast. My handsome man does have a podcast all about Magic the Gathering, and so he's over at his friend Corey's house recording that podcast, and I thought, this is a really great time to record a podcast myself. So I did. Things I didn't get recorded is that introductions video I promised you. So if you're waiting for that and you're like, shoot, did I miss it? You didn't miss anything. I just haven't. I really wanted to make something that I was very happy with and that I liked the setting of, and that I was going to, because every episode, you move on to the next one. And it can be kind of weird. Like now, I'm recording in Betsy's house again because my house is in construction baby shambles. And I can't sit anywhere, and I can't set up anything anywhere, and there's insulation, and it's just gross. So, I'm over here again. But, every episode will be a little different. I want my introductions video to be, something timeless that I can use forever. Like, I'm going to refer to it every time, so people are going to watch it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a little crazy and self-conscious. I don't know. It happens. I'm a real person. A human being. I did this whole thing so I could meet people, which has been a lot of fun. I have met some wonderful people. So that's why I always encourage you to message me. I started this podcast to make friends. So I want to be your friend. Oh, I should plug something right in here and now before I get all my acquisitions out and you guys tune out and decide I'm done with acquisitions. This video is too long. If you are in the Belfast area, I am starting like a little knitting group. It's going to be a happy hour knitting group at Bowen's Tavern. And Bowen's is on the outskirts of town, out 131 or 137. And it's an Irish biker bar. But I'm going to do happy hour on Fridays from 3 to 5. Get a group of ladies and gentlemen together where we can either, knit, crochet, cross stitch, just drink beer. It's up to you. But if you're interested and in the area, that's where I'll be on Fridays, 3 to 5. Come join us. All right. I'm gonna gather all this stuff up here. All right, welcome back. I closed that window over there, the shades on it, because it was getting so bright. Oh my goodness, it's the fall, so the sun is coming in lower, and it just comes in through these giant windows here and makes so much sunlight. Yeah, so let's see. I was going to talk to you all about what I purchased. Yeah, I have been a little crazy. So we'll start with the first thing I purchased, which was at my local yarn shop. This is Galway yarn. Are these upside down? No. I've been having a terrible problem doing that. It's by Plymouth Yarns. They're out of Bristol, PA. And they're kind of an inexpensive workhorse yarn that you can get at most local yarn shops here in New England. And this is 100% wool. It's chunky weight. And I'm going to be making more Speedy Selbu mittens out of this. So as soon as those are done, these are going to be the next Christmas gifts. They're going to be going to someone, of course, who is going to take good care of their mittens. Unlike the other ones, which were acrylic and wool, these have to be hand washed. So, yeah, we're going to do another pair. They're really fun. I highly encourage buying the club. Highly encourage it. In the same vein, when I was down in Massachusetts with my mother, we went down to Amherst and saw some friends who live really close to Webb's. So when she had a little business meeting on Monday, I went off and did all the yarn stores. So I went to Webb's, and they've got this big warehouse in the back where they keep all their discount yarn and all their their own brand of yarn. And they have these bins that are like $2.50, $5, $10, $15. And these were in the $2.50. So I know that my local yarn shop, which is Heavenly Yarns, check it out, best shop ever. I know she has this in like neutrals and whites and whatnot. So for $2.50, getting half of a mitten, pretty good. So I've got this lovely orange and this nice pink, and I'll pair that with either a dark color or a light color, depending on. I'll just walk in with these. So yeah, these are going to be 2 more Speedy Selbu mittens. I know that these are worsted weight, but I think making a slightly smaller mitten with the same pattern would be nice. The ones I have coming out are a little big for like a small-handed woman, and I do have a lot of small-handed woman friends. So I thought these would be fun as well, kind of give me a diversity of sizes. Also at Webb's, in those same bins, I got these 2, which are Rowan Superwash DK. And I just thought these would make the best Christmas mittens ever. Maybe I'll do the Forest Pig Cow with Vol and Vine, Yarngasm, Kristen of Yarngasm, and participate in that with these. But I think these will make a nice pair of mittens as well. Yeah, I'm on a mitten kick. Winter is coming, as I am fully aware of, as my house gets colder and colder. Along the same kind of mitten vein, when I was in my local yarn shop with my mother to show her my yarn in the section there, which, by the way, is selling very well. Thank you so much, everyone who partaked and, whatnot. So, this is Jaeger Spun, which is a mill in Maine. They don't get their wool directly from Maine. I have heard that. As someone who's very concerned about 100% Maine-made and sourced yarn, I do have my own Maine-made sock yarn company, as you know. I am pretty picky, but this is 100% organic wool, spun in Maine, so that's pretty good. I got the colors Truffle and Bordeaux, or Bordeaux. I guess it's a wine, not a dog. But I'm very excited about these. These are going to be the September mitten from Ellie's Mitten Club. And I think they're just going to turn out so nice. Very simple, very traditional, but so soft. These are going to be really nice mittens. Probably for me, because I am a selfish knitter. All right, and my last bit of bulkier yarn is this. Oh, upside down. There we go. Reynolds Lopi, my dear friend. Thank you so much. You know who you are. She stopped by my work the other day and had a whole bag of this. I had been talking to her about wanting to knit a Lopi sweater, and that I had only gotten from my cousin a bunch of different contrasty colors, like 1 or 2 balls of each kind of color, which would make great yokes, but I really didn't have like a body color. And she goes, oh, I have all this navy blue. I'll bring it by. Well, all this navy blue was a lot of yarn. Like, I have enough for a men's sweater. So I'm going to make a really lovely Lopi sweater out of this. This lovely navy blue. This is color 709. And yeah, when I start going completely sweater crazy, this is going to be one of the next cast-ons. Let's see, and my last thing as far as yarn goes, I know, holy cow, what a video. So as far as yarn goes, I was at the Cashmere Goat because I work across the street at a bar there. Well, I did. I recently quit. So I could spend more time on Maddfuzzy. Now I just work for the Creamery, which I am really loving. So I have one boss. I don't have to work like a hellacious shift on the weekend. But I'm not across from a yarn store every Sunday anymore. But back to the yarn. That's neither here nor there. So I was in there, and they had on discount because they were going to stop selling it. And so it was half off. It took me 2 weeks to buy all I needed because I wanted to make a sweater, and it's expensive. But I bought enough for a sweater of Shibui. Oh my God. So these are Shibui knits, and they're staccato base, which is superwash merino and silk. I've decided I'm going to do a colorwork sweater. I have the entire body of the sweater in this gorgeous olive, and then for contrast colors I have this cream. This is more of a salmon pink. It's coming out really bright on screen, and this is a gorgeous maroon burgundy color. And so all these together I think is just going to make it a beautiful yoked sweater. So in the hierarchy, this is going to come a little bit after I do the one I've swatched for and that Lopi, so I can get a little bit more comfortable and do a colorwork sweater with big yarn, big needles before I cast this on, because I think this is, I mean, it's not the most expensive sweater quantity I have. That Good Karma Farm I worked for is, but this is the first really good sweater quantity that I bought myself. So I want to make sure that I do something that's worthwhile and like gonna last me a lifetime. But I'm so happy. It's so soft, like buttered kittens. Yay. So this hopefully will be a gorgeous sweater, you know, a really nice sweater. Just something I can wear to like weddings and things like that. Classy is all Dickens. And that brings me to my last acquisition. So I trucked through this pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself. So when my mother was here, I feel like that's the theme of this episode. When my mother was here, I went down to Portland to pick her up at the airport. And I stopped in at a couple yarn stores. As you know, I got the needles. But I stopped in at Port Fiber. And if you've never been there and you're a spinner, you should. It's gorgeous. She hand dyes so many breeds of wool. So she's got them all hanging, separated by breeds with really great descriptions. And she was really taken back by some Maddfuzzy yarn I brought to show her. And so she wanted a couple of the skeins. And I said, of course. Well, do you want to barter? I would love some spinning fiber. I do spin. So I went around, and this just screamed my name, right? Hot pink. The fiber on this, which is one of my favorite kinds, this is Tarhi. So that's going to be really fun. I think I'll probably make socks out of it. Do a 3-ply sock yarn. Really nice variegated. But I'm just so happy with this. And like, it's even more fun to barter. I love bartering. So yeah, that was my last acquisition. There was a lot. Holy smokes. My stash like doubled. And then, of course, we had to move everything upstairs so we could work downstairs. And I realized how much yarn I actually had. When you have to move it, you're like, whoa, I should really knit with some of this. So, yeah, that's the end of the yarny content. I'll do like a really short little life update here just because we're getting on like 30-something minutes. And I like to keep my episodes short. We're making spaghetti sauce right now. My house smells, well, this house smells delicious. I'm just letting it boil down right now. So it's doing its thing over there and just smelling so good. All the tomatoes, onions, basil, garlic, all from our garden. We had a really good garden this year. Just pulled it out. And yeah, now we're making all the things. We did a lot of canning this year. Yeah, so we're in the house. We're going to hopefully be staying in the house all winter. When Heath gets back from recording his podcast, we're going to move our new composting toilet over to the house and kind of clear out the woodshed, which has been construction material storage central, which needs to be our firewood storage central. So we're going to clear everything out today and stack up all that wood in there. Have some friends come over and help us move our new freezer. The farm got a new freezer, and so I got a hand-me-down freezer from them. So we're going to fill that with lots of goodness this year. We've already like planned what we're going to put in there. There's a big old pumpkin sitting over there. It's going to go get frozen. Just everything's, why not? It's a giant freezer. I mean, it really is. I'm very excited to have it. It's gonna be very helpful. So we're going to move that today. Get a bunch of friends over, bribe them with food. And it's just been gorgeous. Oh, and it was open creamery day yesterday. I forgot about that. So we had all kinds of people at the farm, and they made grilled cheese sandwiches, and there was a pasture walk, and it was really fun. It was our first year doing the open creamery day. Ah, flies! That's also what's happening right now. It's fly season. They've all gotten too cold outside, so they've come inside, and they're everywhere. Oh, my goodness. I get those little fly tape things, but they're so ugly. And then always, oh, if there's a fly tape hanging somewhere and like anywhere, I will run something into it. Like I'll be sweeping and the handle of the broom will get stuck to it, and then there's sticky on the broom. It's chemicals, and like, ah, I hate them so much. I almost prefer the flies. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Working all the time. Quit a bunch of jobs. Hopefully going to get Maddfuzzy here on a regular podcasting schedule with regular updates. Fingers crossed. I hope you're there with me. Thank you so much for watching and coming back and joining the community and being awesome and saying hi and purchasing my yarn and just being, I don't know, wonderful, wonderful knitters. So I hope you have a great rest of your week. Yeah, as always, enjoy your knitting.